You're not the product of your emotions. You are the product of your responses to your past emotions. So don't let your emotions control you. See, inconsistent responses leads to consistent results. What does that mean? That means when I act in a consistent way, regardless of how I feel, I'll get great results. See, a lot of people are dictated by their emotions. If they feel sad, they don't talk to anyone. If they feel mad, they talk back to their parents. And they do different actions depending upon how they feel. But if I act inconsistent with how I feel, I'll get consistent results because my actions will no longer be dictated by my emotions. So how can we respond in a more positive way despite how we feel? And we do this by thinking before we respond. See, emotions are automatic. They're like signals that tell you what's going on. But because these are automatic responses, we can't really control them. However, we can influence how we respond by changing the way we think, changing what we say. See, what we say creates our thoughts, and our thoughts form our beliefs, and we live and respond in accordance with our beliefs. Let me explain it like this. What we say creates a frame, frames shape focus, focus forms beliefs, and beliefs shape our perception or responses to reality. So when I say a different thing, I'll see a different frame. For example, if someone cuts me off in traffic, I may get an emotional response of anger or frustration. However, if what I say is positive, I can have a positive response. So if I say something like, this is a good thing, my frame will now be, okay, why is this a good thing? How can this be a good thing? And those questions are going to give me an answer. And whatever answer I come up with, I can focus on. Okay, this is a good thing because they can now make it on time to wherever they're going. And then that forms a belief. Okay, it's a good thing that I got cut off because they can make it on time. And then now I have a different perception of reality. Hey, I'm glad I got cut off. And that produces a different response to reality, a different response to the feeling and emotion that I had. So we see how what we said can then change our thoughts, which changes how we respond to our emotions. And we can do this no matter the situation and no matter how we feel. However, a lot of people do this in a negative sense. Like if they feel good, they still have bad words, which creates bad thoughts, which then creates bad responses. For example, if someone's late for work and they're driving really fast and they get a green light, they may have an emotional response of happiness or thankfulness, saying, yes, I got a green light. But if what they say is negative, they can still have negative thoughts and have a negative response. If they say something like, hey, I'm still going to be late for work, or hey, I'm going to hit another red light, well, what they said create negative thoughts and have a negative response, even though the circumstance and the emotion was happiness. This is why I say your mood is more of a product of who you are than how you feel. Because if you're the type of person who's positive, you're going to have a positive response despite how you feel, because you're going to say positive things and think positive things. But if you're a negative person, then no matter how you feel, you can still have negative responses and still be in a bad mood despite having good circumstances. So your emotions don't control you. You control your emotions, and you control your emotions by having better responses. We can have better responses by changing what we say, because what we say creates our thoughts, and our thoughts form our beliefs, and we live in accordance with our beliefs. So if we have better beliefs, we'll have better actions, and thus better responses because of what we have said. So if you like this type of content, please subscribe. I try to post a short every day and a long form video at least once a week. Also, I have a book that came out. If not, it's coming out very soon. It's called Controlling the Controllable, How Anyone Can Become Influential. And in that book, I lay out the principles of becoming influential that if you follow and if you do, you will become influential, because principles cannot lie. They always work. So check that out on Amazon. And thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you guys next week.